Hi everybody and welcome back to the allotment. It's the end of March and I'm really excited about what's been going on in the garden over the last couple of weeks. So let's go have a look. So here at the very top of the plot, I've been trying to get these 3 pallet collar beds ready for spring. This top one next to me, which I'll show you in a minute, has got some herbs in it. I've got sorrel, some thyme and some mint. And I'm going to be moving the mint, well, some of the mint down to the bottom of the plot later on because it needs a bit more space. I've also got some comfrey given to me by a neighbour a couple of plots up, and I'm going to be putting that at the very bottom of the bed. I'm probably going to try and get that done today because she gave it to me yesterday. It's just been in some water, but I want to make sure that it gets in the ground really quickly. I've got carrots in this next bed here, which I sowed, I don't know, about a week ago. They're an early variety, but there is no sign of them yet, but I'm still hopeful. And in the bottom one, I've got a couple of brassicas that I've sown directly, just as I'm sort of trialing out using it as a little bit of a seed bed because I hadn't really figured out what I wanted to do with it. So here's the herb bed springing to life. It's looking amazing. The sorrel and my thyme. There's a little mint down here in the corner, but there's also one behind the sorrel, which is basically being entirely smothered. So that's the one that I'm going to move to another place in the allotment. There are supposedly carrots in here, but I'm still waiting. I'm hoping they're going to come. I kind of have a bit of a love-hate with the carrots. Sometimes they come up and other times definitely not. And then down here in this bed, I've direct sown a couple of brassicas. In fact, you can see there's a few coming up. So I've sown a cauliflower, Silka, I think it's called, which is a purple one. A little bit of calabrese, so normal broccoli, and also a Romanesco cauliflower as well. They're just starting to come up, if you can see those little green specks. So I will cover them back up later because I don't want the pigeons to get them. So these 4 beds have had something in them over the whole of winter and they are doing really, really well. I'm really happy with them. I think there was a little bit of a moment probably at the end of December when I thought everything was going to die because we had loads of snow. But in the last sort of 2 to 3 weeks, as the sun's been coming out, as there's been more rain, they have really just flourished. So I'm going to have a look at what we've got. This bed was a little slower than the one next to it, so I haven't really been able to harvest very much from it. It's got some kales here at the front that have just started sprouting flowers, so I will harvest those later on. I think my main problem with the kale has definitely been white fly. So there's been so much white fly on the leaves that I haven't really been able to get very much that's been edible. I don't know if you can see there's a little fly trap in the middle, which I've just started putting those in, and they are sort of working, but I feel like it's probably it's probably a bit of a lost cause because these kales will come out pretty soon now anyway. But it's good, it's learning, isn't it? I know that next time I want to sow kale, I will probably net it under like a veggie mesh or something. These broccolis are just starting to come up now. I've got one there and there's a little baby one here as well. They were both put in really late, which is why they're very small plants, but I will I'll take whatever veg I can get. The purple sprouting broccoli in this bed has actually done a lot better. I've got loads to harvest from this one, which I haven't harvested from this for about 2 weeks, and I harvested from this one last week. So I've been sort of taking it in turns, although I'm probably going to have to take these tops anyway. And I still have some more kales in here. I have had a couple of leaves because the white fly wasn't quite as bad on this bed as it was on the other one. So I've been able to get a couple of leaves from here, but not that many. So this one's got perpetual spinach in. It's doing really, really well. I planted it, I think, last summer. So it's managed all the way through the winter. And yeah, it's coming on really nicely. I'm probably going to pull it up in May to make way for something else, and I might pop it in one of the pallet collars instead and plant some new ones in the pallet collars so that they can stay a bit longer. I have got some rocket on this side which is starting to flower, so that does need to come out. To be honest, it still tastes fine even though it's bolting, but I've been trying to cut off all the flower heads and that isn't really stopping it. It just keeps coming back, so I'm probably going to just take that out. This bed over here has got a few more kales in it, and they're doing fine, but they are also just starting to flower. I've also got some onions that I'd forgotten I put in, so that's been quite a nice surprise to get some salad onions this early. And at the bottom down here, I've got some parsley. So this is overwintered. I suspect it'll flower pretty soon, but yeah, it's actually looking pretty good. So the rest of the vegetable beds are pretty much empty, other than the salad bed where I've put some radish and some lettuce. But I have got quite a lot of things in the greenhouse ready to go. I need to put out some shallots. I've got some broad beans ready to go in. I've got some beetroot. I'm waiting a couple of weeks probably to put that in, and some more spring onions as well. So the beds will start filling up over the next couple of weeks, and I'm really looking forward to it looking sort of lush and green and busy once more. In the meantime, the daffodils are definitely doing their part, and they are looking beautiful still. And I'm really glad that they've turned up where they are in the middle of a path. It's just been a really nice start to the spring to have that little bit of sunshine, even on the really cold days. The one thing I've been able to do this month that I am really happy about is put in some trees. So I had to get permission, which took a little bit of faffing about, but I've managed to get an apple tree and a plum tree in at the plot. So let's have a look at them. So granted, they don't look very exciting at the moment, but this is my Victoria plum. And over here, I've got a little Braeburn apple. I bought sort of like a 1-year-old whip so that I could cut them down quite short, so that I've got a lower trunk, and hopefully when it grows, I'll actually be able to harvest from it. My gooseberries are doing very happy over here in their little pots. They're all growing well. I do really need to mulch the top of them because I still haven't done that, but you know, I will get round to it soon enough. But yeah, they're looking really nice. So I hope you have enjoyed this quick tour of my allotment at the end of March. I am really pleased with where it's at the minute, and I feel much more relaxed, I think, than I did this time last year when I took it on, when it was like basically a sort of a jungly mess, and it really felt under pressure to try and get everything done. So I'm trying a much more relaxed approach this year, and I'm really enjoying this sort of start of the season where you get to do loads of sowing and sort of excited about what comes next. So do let me know what you're going to be sowing in April. I'd love to hear about the different varieties that you guys are growing as well, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.